This looks like a retro car stereo system. Hello and thank you for tuning in and welcome to my honest experience of Hifiman's newest DAC amp combo, the EF400. I have purchased this DAC amp since its release and I have been using it for all my headphones and IEMs, so I'd like to share my experience with you. I didn't release the unboxing video because it's essentially unboxing another box. That's the experience I felt, so I spared you that feeling, but I still put some of the videos here on this opening because I've already spent time recording it, so why not show it, right? With that out of the way, let's take a closer look at this black brick from Hifiman. It is literally a black box with a faceplate. Very low profile, very clean design. I'm good with that. At the front, you got the left dial to select between high gain or low gain, with each having oversampling or no oversampling mode. The volume dial on the right, an XLR output, a 6.35mm output for headphones, a 3.5mm output, and a 4.4mm output. Essentially all you need to connect your headphones or IEMs. For the back, you have the power socket, XLR and RCA outputs if you want to connect to a separate amp, and a USB-C input, and that's it. No Bluetooth, no coaxial, none of that. This DAC amp is strictly designed for desktop use in my opinion, or anything that uses a USB-C input. So in terms of features, you have all that you need on this DAC amp unit as a really good starting point. And it may even be more than enough for most people in this hobby. For the high gain or low gain settings, if you have very sensitive headphones or IEMs, then setting it on low gain will help with that. I typically use the low gain setting since this gear is capable of driving almost any headphone I hook it up to, so I don't see any reason on putting it on high gain, but then again, probably I don't have that much collection of headphones. As for oversampling or non-oversampling mode, this is going to be an unpopular opinion and maybe I'm not well trained enough to pick up the subtle differences, which is probably why, to me, I can't hear a difference between oversampling and non-oversampling mode. I've tried a few songs, I've used a few headphones. The differences, if there are any, are so tiny that I just can't pick it up. I just can't. I've increased the volume, I've focused really hard, playing back the same tracks again and again, and it just sounds the same to me. If I were to blind test this, it would be extremely difficult for me, almost impossible to point out which is oversampling or non-oversampling, so I just left my setting as non-oversampling and I'm just happy with that. For the sound of this gear, as mentioned earlier, I may not have the best or trained ears to pick up all the differences in sound from source gears, but I did compare this to the Burson Composer, which is a Delta Sigma DAC, and I did notice some very minor differences. However, before I talk about the sound, I have to emphasize that the biggest difference you'd get from a sound is from your headphones or IEMs. Most source gears, in my humble opinion, will make very marginal differences in sound. To me, the source gear is mostly about functionality and power. And the best way to approach all of this is to test it for yourselves prior to a purchase. Now with that out of the way, simply using the Hifiman EF400 by itself, I'm not sure if it's psychoacoustic again, being attributed with what R2R DACs are mostly about. Hooking the EF400 with my Hifiman HE1000 V2s, the sound I can describe was slightly warmer, slightly smoother in the treble, sound was a touch more open, and the bass had just a bit more body to it. In contrast with the Delta Sigma DAC, my HE1000 V2s was like a spear in the treble. It stabbed me in the ear so much that I had to take a rest from music. And if that ever happens to you, I just feel you're not enjoying your music. The Hifiman EF400 made the spear just a touch blunt. Granted, it was still a little bright for me, but it was more of a poke than a full-on stab. I have also paired this with two amps, which are the Singxer Sa-1 and the THX789 through the XLR outputs. And for the Singxer Sa-1, all the things I've described earlier for the Hifiman EF400, imagine a small step above in terms of sound profile. So everything was slightly warmer, slightly more lush, slightly smoother, which may turn a lot of people away if you're looking for a more precision, clarity, neutral kind of sound. The THX789 brought a touch more precision to the mix, but it sounded almost similar to the EF400 by its own, so it doesn't make sense to have the 789 paired with the EF400. So to summarize it all up, the Hifiman EF400 is perfect for any audio enthusiast that's tipping their toes into this hobby. However, it's only perfect for a desktop setup. If you're looking to branch out to other types of features such as coaxial, Bluetooth and all that, unfortunately this isn't the right gear for you. If you're all about getting the most precise, clean sound out of your already uber precise, clean, neutral headphone, this isn't the right gear for you. But if you're like me, who prefers a slightly warmer sound profile, something that to me makes you move your body and bob your head to the music, then do consider the Hifiman EF400. I've sold all other gears because this gear alone was sufficient to power and provide me with a sound that I truly enjoy. Well done, Hifiman. With that all said, that concludes my honest experience about this DAC amp. I hope you enjoyed today's episode and found it somewhat useful. If you did, do consider hitting that like and subscribe button. It helps the channel a lot and I thank you all for your support. Do let me know in the comment section down below your experience if you have this gear. And until the next experience, take care and happy listening.